Many times clients ask me what I mean when I say that their condition may meet or equal a listing. They ask, what is a listing and what does it mean to meet or equal a listing? Well, Social Security has a book called the Code of Federal Regulations that covers many types of medical impairments. Now, there is a listing, it's called, for each serious medical impairment. For example, there is a listing for spinal disorders. There is a listing for cardiac disorders, including coronary artery disease, congestive heart failure, aneurysm. There is also a listing there are listings for many mental disorders, such as depression, bipolar disorder, generalized anxiety disorder. Now, what the listings do is they set out specific medical criteria that must be met in the medical record in a person's Social Security file that shows that that person has a listing level condition. So, for example, with a heart condition, you may need a certain ejection fraction rate. You may need imaging of your heart that shows blockage to the vessels. For depression, you may need to have a letter from a psychiatrist or a psychologist stating that you have serious limitations in very specific functional areas of your day-to-day living. Now, even if you don't meet or equal a listing, for example, this often applies when people have a combination of impairments. Maybe one impairment does not meet or equal a listing, but when you look at the overall effect of those impairments on the person's ability to work, it prevents them from working substantial gainful activity. So even if you don't meet or equal a listing, you can be found disabled at step 5 of the sequential evaluation process by showing that though your medical condition does not rise to that serious level of disability, the combination of your impairments prevent you from doing any type of work in the national economy. What I do to show if a person doesn't meet a listing but that they qualify for disability at step 5, what I often do is I give medical questionnaires to a treating source, a treating physician, specialist, psychologist, psychiatrist, and those questionnaires are going to very specifically outline functional limitations in symptomatology that prevents that client from being able to perform any other work. That's called a residual functional capacity questionnaire, and I frequently give them to treating sources to prove disability where the case does not meet a listing.